And now the 419 with Gretchen DeBacker, Matt Killam, and Kevin Mullen. Oh.
Welcome into the 419, powered by WGTE and presented by Witro Wealth Management. I'm Kevin Mullen, alongside
just Matt Killam.
We lost one today.
It's a dark day.
It is. Maybe we need to clarify that Gretchen will be back.
Yes. Yeah.
But for today, she is out of town, and so we're flying without Mom.
Yeah, that's right. It is, in full candor, the show is always at its best when Gretchen is fully engaged. So this is going to be, just start hitting your radio dial right now.
It is interesting to me as I think about and I talk to people about the show. Like, we each play a unique role in the show. And, we'll finish a conversation, we'll finish an episode, and I'll be like, Gretchen didn't talk a whole lot. But when she did, it was like keeping us on the rails and keeping you and I from completely losing our minds. So really, anything is possible today.
Yeah, this is, I'm very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are missing a linchpin to the show. Gretchen was traveling. She is at a parents' weekend with her beloved niece in Boulder, Colorado. So we're going to carry the torch here the very best we can. And we'll try to fill in and play the role of Gretchen when we can.
Yeah, it's Wellness Wednesday presented by WorkSpring, and there is nothing well about what's happening here today. Right. I genuinely like you, Matt, but it is weird for you and I sitting next to each other because that has not happened yet.
Yeah, and I don't care for it.
Yeah, no, well.
Yeah. Well, we'll get some people on here. We've got a great guest, a couple friends of me personally and friends of the show, and I will try to think of questions that Gretchen would have asked that were more poignant than the buffoonery that will be shown in her absence.
Yeah, so we've got Michelle Cleland and Allison Foreman are going to be on the program, and then Sonia, Flunder-McNair. Sonia is with Urban
Holistics, but a champion of all kinds of things, and a real spark plug. So I'm thrilled to have her on.
Yeah, it's going to be a great Wednesday, Wellness Wednesday edition, presented by WorkSpring, and we'll continue that on the other side of the break. Thanks for joining us here on the 419.
Support for the 419 comes from Witro Wealth Management, where we understand that your financial path is personal. Advisory services are offered through Capital Investment Advisory Services, LLC. Securities offered through Capital Investment Group, Inc. Member FINRA and SIPC. More information at witroadvisors.com.
The 419, powered by WGTE, is made possible in part by supporters like you. Thank you.
Introducing The Local Thread, a community news series uniting voices and storytellers from across the region. In partnership with La Prensa, the Toledo Free Press, the Sojourner's Truth, Toledo Public Schools, and Rethinking Jails and Justice. The Local Thread brings you stories and conversations that connect our community. Hear it weeknights at 7 on FM 91 with early access on podcast platforms each morning. The Local Thread, only on WGTE.
Welcome back into the 419, a Wellness Wednesday. You can hear it in my throat.
That's right.
It's wellness. It's that time of year.
You can see it on my face.
Man, it's that time of year when it goes like warm to cold, cold to warm, and wellness is out the window. We are joined now by Michelle Cleland, a wellness consultant and a registered dietitian with Savage and Associates. Thanks for being here.
Yes, good morning.
And Michelle, we should be transparent here. We have been friends for a while.
Quite a while.
Thrilled to have you on. Yes.
Yes.
So this is nice for me. I do want to talk about the title first because it's important. Talk a little bit about the moniker underneath your name.
I have a whole bunch of alphabet soup past my name.
Sure.
But I am a registered dietitian, and most people don't really know the difference between registered dietitian and nutritionist. Registered dietitian means I went to 4 years of undergraduate, a year of an internship, and a master's degree, and I'm licensed by the State Medical Board to provide guidance for medical nutrition therapy. Many of your nutritionist titles are just a 2-week certificate. I can print this off at the end, and hey, look at what I can do type thing.
Sure.
So the messaging gets confusing or watered down in that type of situation.
But where did this come from? Like, where did you get interested in this? Were you as a kid kind of always, judging what the person next to you was eating? Or
Actually, most dietitians, we don't even pay attention what other people eat, so we're never judgy. But the funny part was I was trying to figure out what to do with myself. My husband was my boyfriend at the time, and I was like, I don't know what to do. He goes, I think you can smell fat grams across the room.
Yeah.
And so he and I.
What a charmer.
Right, isn't he? We sat down together, and I looked through, this was back in a printed catalog time at UT, and found a nutrition course. I grew up in a home that was all cardiac oriented. My mother was only 44 years old when she had her first double bypass.
You're kidding me. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was, I was 18 watching it happen, and it
Terrifying.
was, yes, quite impactful.
Yes, ma'am.
And so, but what the cool part was is that she came out the other side, and with, changes in how she ate, her activity, and of course medical influence, she's did great for many, many years. And so it was amazing, and that was kind of what impacted me on
This is a complicated question. I know this is right in your wheelhouse as well, Kevin. It's one of the loves of my life has had some massive heart traumas. One of the two, my stepfather, and he was able to quit smoking and quit drinking immediately. But his diet is and has always been a bit of his challenge.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about, and I'm not sophisticated enough to ask a sophisticated questions, so bear with me, but what are all the mechanisms that make the diet such a difficult journey or challenge?
Well, there's multifaceted. First, the physical part of what happens in the body when you eat, but the emotional part that people kind of forget about. We all want to look at the sheet and go, this is what I'm going to do. But then emotion hits.
Right.
And so we have we eat because we're happy, we eat because we're sad, we eat because we're social, and the holidays. And so these are the components that kind of come in and impact how we eat. When it comes to eating, there's no such thing as perfect. Perfect does not exist, but yet we always try and strive for that when somebody's talking diet. And you're like, if somebody hands you a sheet that has a list of yeses and nos, take the sheet and throw it in the garbage, because it's not really probably good advice.
That's great advice.
Yes.
Right
So
there.
most of the time, what you want to do is make small changes, then incremental, and make a big impact. So if there's 365 days in a year and 12 holidays, who cares about the holidays?
Yeah.
We look at some of the other ones, because we're always like, oh, I can't have, I feel I'm a bad person because I ate. And my usual response is, well, did anyone die because you had a cookie?
Yeah, right.
If nobody died because you had a cookie, then it was just a cookie.
Yeah, sure.
So, those things kind of build up. And so what we look at is frequency, or what can you eat more of to get to where you want to be?
Talk to me about that.
All right.
concept.
The perfect concept is if you can focus on making sure that you eat some fruits and vegetables through the day, no matter what they are, then you're doing something positive that helps your heart, that helps, your overall function on your body. Those are the things that I focus on, is what can you do more of instead of telling you no, no, no. Do you ever tell a child to stop touching something?
Yes.
What are they doing 2 seconds later?
Immediately.
All
Have you
right.
ever told Matt to stop touching something?
Yes. Yeah, I just assumed you were talking about it. Yeah. Let me put my fidget spinner by your desk, which is what I usually do at the 12-minute mark.
So if you take that focus, it's never going to accomplish anything.
Yeah.
So if we take the positive spin and say, how can we get more of this in your diet? Whether it's a scoop on your plate or mixed into something, it still counts as vegetables. Just make sure there's vegetables somewhere and a couple meals out of the day.
We're talking with Michelle Cleland from Savage & Associates here on a Wellness Wednesday, presented by WorkSpring. I mean, it hits home with me, Matt, because 20 years ago I had a cardiologist say, hey, with your family history, you should probably cut back on caffeine. And I literally the next day, cold turkey, no more coffee, no more soda.
He only ate cold turkey.
That's right. That's right. From then on, only cold turkey.
Cold turkey diet.
But I was like, just done, right? But he goes, there's 3 things I need from you. I need you to just cut back on coffee a little bit, eat healthier, and exercise. And I was like, well, I'm not going to do 2 and 3. So I'm going to go all in on 1. I think that's going to make up for it. And then 4 years ago, I had my own heart trauma. And the cardiologist again said, hey, with the medicine you're on, no grapefruit, which is a weird thing.
Yes, it does. It does influence how the medication works.
And no alcohol. And I was like, yeah, no problem. Like that was an easy flip of the switch change for me. But then it was also like, there's a specific amount of water I'm supposed to have every day. Not too much, not too little. Like it used to say like, oh, drink all the water you can. But it was like, but that makes my heart have to work harder. So let's not do that. And then I got to eat healthy. And I, again, struggle so much with that. And for me, at the risk of this being a free session for me, my struggle is so much that I'm like, oh, I can do it later, right? I can make this like, okay, we'll start. The number of times I say, we'll start on Monday.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
And I don't know how many Mondays have come and gone.
Right.
And I fall back into my ways. I will, every time I try to like focus on, I'm gonna eat healthy, what I do is I limit the variety of things that I eat. And that is not sustainable because it's not fun to eat anymore.
Sure.
Exactly.
So what are some of the, maybe let's start like what is the core, like this is healthy, right? This is what your basic nutrition for a day should look like.
There's no such thing as perfect, as I mentioned. It's just not going to be. So when somebody wants to make a change, the first thing I want to look at is what's your patterns. You know, the number one thing I recommend to people isn't anything about food. It's make every piece of food, sit down, pull the focus to it, stop eating in our cars, stop eating in front of the television, and pull the focus
nice
to
having
the
you on. Anyway, tell me why that's important.
When you eat, the first thing you do is you eat with your eyes, then your nose, then your mouth, and then even your ears for the crunch. And so when we eat in front of screens or in the car, it's like, and you're driving and you're going, and all of a sudden you're like, there are no fries left.
Yeah.
And so we've never been sensory satisfied enough to know that we've actually eaten, and that feeling of fullness never quite hits us because we're focusing everywhere else. You can physically only focus on one item at a time. You can jump between quickly, but you can only focus on one item at a time. And so if you're not focusing on the food and you're not tasting it and you're not recognizing that feeling that I am eating and fullness, you'll just keep going in all different directions and you'll overconsume without realizing it.
This is blowing my mind.
I'm embarrassed to say the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
I do watch television shows of people eating though, only.
Yeah.
So
does that satisfy? Yeah.
Does that?
But I mean, I consider peak of efficiency is working through lunch, right? Like it's like, yeah, I'm gonna do this thing and I'm just gonna shuffle. But you're absolutely right. It's the reason why, like, you can sit down and watch. You know, you're watching a movie and eating popcorn, and you crush an insane amount of popcorn or pretzels or whatever it is, and have no idea that it happened.
For those people who are interested in the science of it, and I can't imagine people like that listening to our show, but can you talk a little bit about the signals? How does the communication work from stomach to brain?
Very complex, but simplistically, it's signaling between actually the taste buds to the brain. Okay. For example, if you're only eating one item, we generally tend to keep craving that item. And that's because this keeps telling this, oh, that's really good. Oh, that popcorn. Oh, that tastes good. And that message
so mouth
keeps
is
looping.
talking to brain at that point.
So the stomach and the brain take a little longer to communicate distance and you know, other focuses. But then that usually can be like if your wait, you know, the classic wait 10 minutes before you get seconds. That gives that stomach the time to say, I am full. There are hormones that regulate hunger and fullness, but there's also survival, fight or flight.
Sure.
I always say hunger is like a super long spectrum. It's if I don't get something to eat now, I'm going to pass out and die.
Yeah, sure.
If I put one more bite in my mouth, I will explode. Thanksgiving, once a year, is jaw's fine, not going to hurt anything. Okay, but about 4 to 5 hours while we're awake, roughly, is the quietest cues and the easiest to recognize and stop eating. The farther we get out here, the more the fight or flight and the cues get louder, like, go get something now, you know, I'm gonna just pass out. Or, oh my gosh, I need to crawl to the couch quickly.
Sure.
So if you're trying to eat more to your own internal cues, pulling the focus at the table, but also set that time frame of about every 4 to 5 hours, I'm gonna assess if I'm hungry, and if I am, I'm gonna sit down and have a snack. Some of the mistakes people make are like, I'm fine at breakfast and lunch, but man, the moment I get home, I can't stop. And that's usually if lunch was at noon and you walked in the door at 6, you're past that window.
That's right.
You're in fight or flight. And so at that point, what I usually tell people is sit down and eat a piece of fruit before you make any other decisions. Because fruit has that great simple carbohydrate and complex carbohydrate. So the simple goes up, gets the brain functioning and focusing again where it's supposed to. And the complex is that fibrous stuff that stays in your stomach a little bit longer so you're not overly hungry. From there, you can make better decisions the rest of the evening that are more guided to what you want to accomplish.
We're talking with Michelle Cleland, wellness coordinator for Savage & Associates. I have so many more questions for you about this because I'm really fascinated by it. I guess I'm curious. Well, I'm sure we'll dive back into some food here in a little bit, but why does Savage and Associates have a wellness coordinator?
Good question. If you know anything about the company, it started in life insurance, moved on to financial planning, and then they brought in group health benefits because most people who are looking at it need to make sure they have either life insurance or what are you doing for your health benefits? Do you work for a company, individual? I'm actually housed under the group health benefits. So anyone we broker health insurance for, I'm part of their benefits package.
Got it.
That's awesome. So then you are then available to go out to those organizations and talk about this stuff
Yes.
with the employees.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm curious too, in the career that you've had, which is the amount of time that we're comfortable talking about out loud.
Yes.
But
Yes.
it's
25 years.
That's right. Yeah, I actually knew that. But that's right. Thank you for the earnest approach to our show.
Most people start at 6.
Yeah.
So, some of the things we talked about, certainly our standards were wildly complex. We are both, from an organism standpoint, complex and simple. How do you stay up on the current science? I do talk about this in terms of having children. My mom joked about the things that I did with my kids were the opposite of what they were told. Is there a similar component to your work?
Definitely.
I saw an old advertisement from like the 40s that talked about butter or lard and was talking about you should consume this because it helps your blood pass through your veins better because it coats them.
Yeah.
That was partially true. It does coat them. But it's a clogging agent.
Yes, not how we want them to.
That's right. Is there a mechanism of change that you've seen on 25 years? I would imagine that to be the case.
Yes, and in a good way. What we've done is looked at, we've improved our ability to research nutrition. It's very hard to research what somebody is actually eating because if I sat and asked what you ate yesterday,
yeah.
Most
Kevin.
people don't, they don't know.
Yeah, right. I don't want to tell you, actually.
So improving that research and the looking at things in big picture has made advancements. I'm required for my registration to get 75 credit hours every 5 years to keep up
Interesting.
on my current licensure and certification. So I have to take these classes and go to conferences and stay up on things.
What is it? I'm sorry, Kevin. What is the battle, and this is not a soapbox question necessarily, unless it's appropriate to be so. What is the battle between nutrition and science and commerce? Meaning juice cleanses and hot yoga, which either one of those could actually be appropriate.
Well, okay, so most of those, commerce is marketing, selling a product.
Right.
Okay. Medical professionals such as myself do not sell a product.
Right.
We educate, we do no harm.
Yeah.
We do our best to help somebody. And so what we say doesn't have a hook. It's not a cool marketing tool.
Right.
And so therefore these juice cleanses, which do nothing but kind of upset your stomach.
Yeah.
But
they certainly do.
Yes.
Yeah.
And very unpleasant experience. Don't recommend them at all.
Yeah.
But yes, it's usually some sort of hook because people want that quick fix. They want that, help me do this now. Why can't I do this now? When where they're at didn't happen overnight.
Right.
So getting back to where they want to be isn't going to happen overnight.
Yes.
And so it's that in my public health degree, we had a class all on like social marketing.
Oh, sure.
And, yes.
Yeah,
So
interesting.
one of the things at the time was market and figure out how to sell colonoscopies.
Yeah.
Let's make you uncomfortable.
Sure.
And talk about things that are really not fun to talk about.
Yeah.
But you should do this.
Speak for yourself.
Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not that when it comes down to real science and things
Yeah.
that help your body, it's not that big.
Yeah, that's right.
And
You'll look thinner tomorrow.
right. And
Right.
it's not going to work that way.
And
Yes.
at its core, and I know this is like the part that's so frustrating because it's so simple, is that, I've heard people say it's math, right? So if you're burning more calories than you're consuming, you're going to lose weight.
Yes.
The end.
Yes.
Is it that simple?
It is, but the complexity comes in all the emotional parts of it. The things that have, impacted how we eat throughout our life, the family gatherings and stuff like that, or even just that whole I feel bad about myself because I ate this.
Sure.
And so this is where the complexity comes in. Yes, it is about. calories.
I
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry for
sorry.
interrupting. I also, it isn't about weight loss, right? I mean, I think that that's something to make mention important too, although that is something that, we are sort of hyper-focused on from a cultural standpoint. But can you talk a little bit about what a goal should be? It isn't just about aesthetics. It is about what?
Right. And I will tell people, I will never tell you what to weigh. That's personal. A 10% decrease in weight can make all the impact you want. The rest is just your own personal. And so when you look at it that way, sometimes the small changes are really what you're looking for. And so you want to make changes that you're able to stay with.
Yeah.
And so everyone wants to get rid of their favorite food. It's like, I'm not getting rid of my coffee.
Yeah, sure.
I'll work somewhere else first. So get rid of the things that don't mean anything and make that small impact, and then keep building from there. Or, maybe my goal is only to eat one whole piece of fruit every day, and, keep moving from there. So small impact is what I usually work on, and sustainable is it.
Michelle Cleland, Wellness Coordinator with Savage & Associates, joining us here on a Wellness Wednesday, presented by WorkSpring. Michelle, thank you so much.
Thank you. Nice talking to you.
to see you.
There's so many more topics I want to get into.
Oh.
We got to have you back on the program.
Anytime. You let me know when I'm here.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Michelle, thank you so much. When we come back, Allison Foreman, the CEO of Mobile Meals, will join us here on the 419. We'll be right back.
To me, community means connecting to others.
I'm Donnie Miller, and welcome to The Point.
I love CBS Kids!
We're a community committed to education. Discover new ideas, dive into exciting subjects, and engage with the world around you.
I would send them personally a t-shirt. Crime doesn't pay in the old West End, pass it on. That's how we cleaned up the neighborhood.
Vision loss for people is not the end.
It's a story, it's the next chapter.
WGTE Public Media invites you to Get Out and Play Day.
Monday through Friday, it's the 419 powered by WGTE. With Matt Killam, Gretchen DeBacker, I'm Kevin Mullen. What can people expect on the show?
It's going to be an hour, a reminder of why this is a great place to live, work, and play.
WGTE, where you come to watch, listen, and learn.
Welcome back into the 419, a Wellness Wednesday edition, presented by WorkSpring. We're joined now by Allison Foreman from Mobile Meals. Allison, thanks for being here.
Good morning. Happy, almost springtime, but it's like, what did we do? We leaped forward today.
Yes, it's the cheater time of the year. You don't know what it is. You're never wearing the right clothes. You're either too hot or too cold. So people are in shorts.
I was prepared for this lighting, so I was like, short sleeves.
You did right.
Got this.
Yeah. And no Gretchen today, so we've already apologized to you and our audience. It's the real B team, so just bear with us.
You are relatively new to your role. How long have you been at Mobile Meals?
About 2.5 years I've been at Mobile Meals. Before that, I worked at another Meals on Wheels agency for 12 years. So food is my passion, and older adults, I just love working with older adults. I was raised, my grandma used to watch me every day, so I definitely have an affinity for older adults, and they need us a lot.
Well, talk to us about that. What was she like, and then how did that transition into this career path?
So my grandma actually and my family used to own a restaurant just over the border in Temperance called Snyder's.
All right,
and
I know.
home cook pies. So I would get up early in the morning to make pies with my grandma, and then she'd take me to school because my parents both. My mom worked at the hospital, at the Mercy Hospital, and my dad was a salesman. So they were up early. So my grandma always took me to school, picked me up from school. So I spent a lot of time with my grandma.
What was her name?
Harriet.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. What was the big pie? What was the favorite?
Oh, so what's interesting is my favorite pie was either a chocolate pie or the cream pies, which is interesting, which is probably why our fundraiser that's coming up this week is Pies and Pints.
Love it.
And our chef made chocolate peanut butter porter pie. And so I think that kind of harkens back to oh my gosh, my grandma would love that.
100%.
As we talk about Pies and Pints on our Wellness Wednesday, it's important just to remind people that Michelle said one day doesn't matter.
That's right.
And so this one day doesn't matter.
One day, one slice.
Yeah, that's right.
Well
Is that
said.
even possible when you go to a Pies and Pints? You're gonna have more than one slice.
You can make a slice any size you want.
That's fair.
True.
Yeah.
That's
and
fair.
you can have a pizza pie sliced.
Yes.
Okay, I love it. I love it.
This is my nutritionist.
Allison, what is Mobile Meals?
So Mobile Meals is a home-delivered meal provider. So we're providing healthy, nutritious meals delivered right to people's doors. So again, for folks that are homebound, can't get out, can't prepare meals. And it's mostly older adults, but we do serve people who are disabled and are under the age of 60 as well. And so, it's hard for people to stand and cook. They're pre-proportioned meals. So you have the right healthy protein, some fruits, some veggies, milk, dairy, bread. We do specialized meals, vegetarian, vegan, renal diet, cardiac diet. So I know, like Michelle talked about, cardiac meals. That's a rising type of meal that people are requesting. We also do palliative meals, so those are chopped meals. So say if you have Parkinson's and if your hand shakes a little bit, we have chopped up meals for folks.
I wouldn't have thought of that.
Yeah, and then we have for those who have swallowing problems. So sometimes folks with dementia and Alzheimer's, swallowing becomes harder. So we have those kind of pureed meals. And we provide those not only to people directly to their home, we also work with the senior centers and Memory Lane, which is a dementia adult day program, and we provide their meals for them as well.
I was going to ask how people get to Mobile Meals, right? Is this something where, somebody's, listening to or watching this program, they can pick up the phone and they can call and say, hey, I want to be a part of this, or does it go through another agency? How do people get to you?
There's lots of ways. So we want to make it easy as possible for people to sign up. So if it's the weekend and we're not typically there, we have an online system for folks to sign up, and then we'll call you and get you set up. Doctors' offices refer people to us. Family refers to us. Area Office on Aging, which is, that would be for folks who maybe are getting Medicare, Medicaid meals, or Title III, which is that Older Adults Act money. So when you hear like at the federal level and they talk about funding for programs, that Meals on Wheels, we are a Meals on Wheels entity. We get some of that funding trickled down to us. We also have, if you voted November, the senior levy was not only reauthorized, but also had an additional increase. So a lot of clients who are over the age of 60 who live in Lucas County come to us through that program a lot because you get 5 meals a week for free.
This seniors, I think, and please correct me, is our largest demographic right now, or certainly a large part of our population. So talk to us a little bit about the need, Allison, and then I'd like to talk about the logistics of pulling all this off, because that's got to be pretty complicated.
Yeah.
But how many people in our area are in need of this service?
So it's definitely growing. So by 2030 will be kind of when we flip the scales, where it'll be the first time in U.S. history we have more older adults, people over the age of 60, than those under the age of 18. So that's huge. And so funding is not keeping pace to support all the older adults and all the services they need. I will say in Lucas County and in Ohio in general, really good job, because a lot of fellow neighbors and residents realize there's a need, and so folks are stepping up. They're voting yes to support senior services. So we know probably in the next 2 to 3 years, we'll probably need to serve anywhere from 5,000 to 8,000 older adults in Lucas County.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Yes, it is.
Every day?
Within a year.
Okay.
So people come on and off the program, but on average, people are on our program about 6 months to up to 2 years.
Yeah.
So long period of time. So we're not a one and done kind of agency. We're seeing folks every day, and we're seeing them for many years, which is good because we're keeping people in their home longer, where they want to be, with food and supportive service. And I think that's a win, right? So
Absolutely.
we want to be out of assisted living, and people want to be in the community they love.
That is not something that I would have thought of right away. I'm glad you said that. Allison, not just the breadth of your offerings, and I hope that's the right way to say that, that's complex to execute in a single day, but what is the mechanism that accounts for this meals, the preparation, and then delivery? How does it get from oven to seniors' mouths?
Yeah, so logistics is huge for us. I always told people I never realized when I became a nonprofit person how much logistics I would need to learn.
I can't imagine. Yeah.
So we have 11 vehicles that deliver meals out. So we have some paid drivers that are driving those routes, but then we have 44 volunteer routes each day. So again, we're talking about over 50 routes to get out through Lucas County.
Sure.
So the way we kind of do that and working backwards, so we have all those routes. And Lucas County is big. Some of it's urban, some of it's rural, some of it's suburban. So in order to make that work for us, so we have a central kitchen in downtown Toledo off of Jefferson at the Mercy College. So we're in an old Mercy Hospital kitchen. And
your mom's old stomping ground?
Yep. Well,
sure.
actually, my mom worked at Riverside, but
right.
close, but really close, because we had 3 or 4 Mercy hospitals in downtown at one time, which is just amazing to think that there was that many hospitals. But because that's a central location, that doesn't make sense to getting to people in Waterville and White House and Swanton and out into Oregon. So what we try to do is we have 5 different satellite locations. So our drivers, before they start doing their deliveries for the day, have a drop-off point in various parts of Lucas County. So we have one in Sylvania, we have a location in Oregon, and we have them, just throughout little different areas of Toledo. So if you're a volunteer and you're delivering out to, say, Waterville, White House, you're picking up at the old St. Luke's to deliver meals out. So you don't have to come all the way downtown to us. So we try to take that into consideration. So when you're a volunteer, you can get your route done in an hour to an hour and a half rather than, say, 2.5 hours if you have to come down and get the meals from us.
We're talking with Allison Foreman, the CEO of Mobile Meals. It's just like that. So we've got a mutual friend in Wendy Huntley with Connecting Kids to Meals. I think does she still serve on your board? Or?
She does.
The logistics of, I mean, it is hard enough for me when my wife is gone to make a meal and get it from the kitchen to the table, let alone get it from the kitchen to Waterville. And it's still warm, still tastes good, it's still all of those things. What are the different, I mean, on the volunteer side, I mean, where are your volunteers coming from?
So a lot of our volunteers are retired. We actually, as April is National Volunteer Month, we're gearing up for our volunteer recognition event, and we probably have over 75 to 100 volunteers who have been volunteering with us for over 20 years.
Wow.
So really making a part long-term of their general everyday, where they're coming out and delivering a meal. And that's great for your wellness too. As we're talking about wellness, volunteerism is so good for your health and so good for just positive energy. It's so good for you. And I'm telling you, it's the best part of my day when I get to go out and deliver a meal too. I'd like to be able to talk to someone for a couple of minutes, ask how their day is going, deliver that nice meal, ask what they're looking forward to, this spring or the upcoming Easter holiday. And people are just really generally excited.
I was going to ask you, there's probably dozens of them, but do you have a favorite story on your journey of meal delivery or nonprofit, or an aha moment when you're like, this is what my calling is?
So there's many of them, but recently, we always say volunteers are that lifeline and they help save lives. It goes both ways. Like every week or every other week, there's someone who has come across a client who has fallen, and we're able to call 911 and help get that person to the hospital much quicker than if it had been a day or two before someone had noticed they had fallen. But a story that kind of flips it on its ear a little bit is we had a volunteer. She'd been volunteering for 15 years with us, and she knew this client really, really well. Well, she came to the door and she didn't look right. The volunteer, her face had sagged a little bit, her lips had been turning a little bit blue. And the client called us and said, Miss so-and-so, we'll say Miss Smith, delivered my meal today and she just didn't look right. And so I wanted to call you. And sure enough, we looked on the route delivery app, and she didn't do any more deliveries after that first stop. So we called, she didn't respond. We found out that she lived in an older adult independent living facility. So we called at the management office and said, we're trying to get a hold of Mrs. Smith. We think something happened. And sure enough, they went into her apartment, and she was breathing, but she was having the early signs of a stroke.
Sure.
And so they were able to call 911 and get her to the hospital. You only have about a 4-hour window there. So that's a big deal.
Well, and it speaks to the relationship that the drivers and the kind of clients have, that they get to know each other well enough to say,
or care.
Yeah, hey, well, that's right. Yeah, that's a big piece there too. We're talking with Allison Foreman with Mobile Meals. Let's talk about your Pies and Pints event coming up. Is there still an opportunity for people to be able to support?
Yeah, absolutely. So Pies and Pints will be on March 12th this year. We decided not to have it on the actual 3/14 this year. So it's going to be this Thursday from 4 to 8 p.m. at the Ernst Brew Works locations on South Detroit and Westgate. Folks can swing by between that time. No ticket needed. You just come purchase your pie and pint for $10, and $7 comes back to us. And that's notable because by you coming out and enjoying that wonderful beer and a slice of pie, that also provides a meal for a homebound senior delivered to their door.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, Allison. Now, you also, as Michelle was leaving and coming in, you guys know each other because Michelle works with your team at Mobile Meals on wellness and nutrition as well.
She does. They're really great. We've used Savage for a really long time for our health and wellness benefits, but they recently just started a new program for medical nutrition counseling. And probably it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I went to the office and she told everybody about it. I've already had 6 of my staff go there, and one person said, this is really going to make a difference in my wellness journey, because she recently had a new health diagnosis and she was feeling really down about the changes it was going to mean. And she came back and she said, Michelle is the most personable person, and she really made me feel like she cared and gave me stuff to start right away that are small, that are really going to improve my health.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, it's now time. She's not here, but we're still going to play Gretchen's Wacky Quiz. I'm asking you 4 rapid-fire questions, and I'll also ask you for your favorite thing in the region. I'll be playing the role of Gretchen. And then Matt's going to work with you to describe Toledo in exactly 9 words. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Have you ever lost a bet?
Yes.
Sometimes I love when they answer just directly the question. I was expecting you to give me more details. But good for you for not doing it. No.
Ready for the deposition.
There's boundaries. What's the last text message that you sent?
Oh my gosh, it's so boring. My last text message is, I'm on my way home.
Yeah, sure.
On a night out with friends, are you the first to go home or the last to be out?
I'm usually the last.
All right.
And then what's the one possession that you cannot live without?
Books.
What's the last book you read?
Sarah J. Maas, Throne of Glass series. There's 6 of them. I'm almost done with them.
Okay, so good, favorable, or
good?
You'd recommend them?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. One word.
One word to describe Toledo or the region. What's the best thing about Toledo?
Community.
All right, heard you say Metro Parks. All right. All right, 9 words to describe the region. I'm going to put down community as one, so you're already off and running. What else?
Oh, it's not one word. Can it be hyphen? Like mud hens?
Yeah, mud hens. We'll give you 2 words for that. Keep going. You're doing great.
Let's see. Hot dogs.
Hot dogs. Do you have a favorite hot dog emporium?
No, because I'm vegetarian. So.
Great place for vegetarian hot dogs. We'll give you one of the words for that. You've got 3 left.
Okay.
It's certainly caring.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Volunteering.
Volunteering. You got 1 left.
Ooh. Okay. What's the last one be? I'm going to say green.
Love it. You did it. Nailed it.
She made it through all 9 words and still didn't talk about the Metro Parks, man.
That's okay.
Well, green makes me think of Metro Parks.
Yes, I'll take it.
I was thinking generosity and the folks that are going to come out and support Pies and Pints tomorrow at Ernst Brew Works.
Well, you're going to show us some green.
That's exactly
right.
That's exactly right. Allison, thank you so much for joining us on the program. Love to talk more about, as you guys have got cool things going on, or you're doing a drive for volunteers, whatever that may be. If folks want more information on Mobile Meals, where do they find it?
Mobilemeals.org.
And then same website if they want to volunteer?
Yep. And when you go right at the top toolbar, it'll say get involved. You click on that. You fill out a little bit of information. How we get a hold of you. Your phone number and your email, and somebody will be in touch within probably 24 hours.
What's the minimum commitment I have to make if I want to be a volunteer?
Oh, maybe 4 times a year.
Awesome.
We can do that.
That's doable. Yeah.
Yep. Thank
Love
you.
it. Thank you so much. When we come back, Sonia from Urban Holistics is going to be joining us on the program here on the 419. We'll be right back.
Support for the 419 comes from Witro Wealth Management, where we understand that your financial path is personal. Advisory services are offered through Capital Investment Advisory Services, LLC. Securities offered through Capital Investment Group, Inc. Member FINRA and SIPC. More information at WitroAdvisors.com.
Destination Toledo. Whether you're a local or a visitor, Destination Toledo invites you to explore the region and be a tourist in Toledo. Find events, dining, and things to do at visittoledo.org.
WorkSpring. HR issues and employee well-being go hand in hand. WorkSpring supports employers through compliance, training, and wellness because healthy workplaces don't happen by accidents. Learn more at workspring.org.
Toledo Refining Company, a subsidiary of PDF Energy. Toledo Refining Company is a supplier of fuels that keep our region moving. Located in Oregon, Ohio, the refinery processes crude oil into gasoline, diesel, jet fuel, and other petroleum products.
And Tarda, celebrating its 55th year of connecting Northwest Ohioans to their community. More information at tarda.com.
Welcome back into the 419. It's Wellness Wednesday presented by WorkSpring, and we're talking to folks that are growing wellness in all different ways across the region. We're joined now by Sonia Flunder-McNair with Urban Holistics.
Yes.
Thank you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Tell me,
I am so excited to be here.
I am amazed that you and I have not met yet.
I am as well.
Because I know you very well.
So am I, but today is the day.
And I'm also here.
Yeah.
I'll just sit in between you while you guys talk.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
But
tell me about all of the things. I mean, we don't have that long of a show to fill in your activities, but you and I have been friends for a while, which I'm proud to say, and my life is better because of it. But let's hit it from the top. Recently given a pretty important certification or proclamation from our county commissioners.
Yes.
But tell me all the things that is Sonia.
So what we're working on is Minority Health Month is coming up on April 4th. That is an event that will happen at the farm. I do want to say that our space, it's always been a green space, but now it's registered with USDA. So it is an actual farm. Urban farms are getting the clout that they deserve.
That's right.
And we are actively just trying to make sure that everybody, even outside of Toledo, knows that there's a model that can fit in any space and to be successful.
Tell me about this space and where it's at and how it started.
Okay, so in 2019, I called up the land bank and I said, hey, I see some empty lots and I have an idea. And from 2019, I started building Tatum Park, which is a holistic green space that sits next to the historical Art Tatum House. And the goal for that space was to give people in the neighborhoods a sense of, you know how you feel when you go to the Metro Park?
Yes, ma'am.
Or the Botanical Gardens, or wherever a place is beautiful. When you go, it changes the way you feel. And when you don't feel left out, or if you don't feel like everything is unpretty, you act that way. So when you feel better because things are better in the community or have a holistic environment, the community thrives behind that. Mm-hmm. So the goal was to create a space to see how it would work, and it worked so well that we've continued to build beyond Tatum Park. And now it's close to it's probably 3.5 acres.
How about that?
Of farmland for children. It is a youth farm.
Okay.
Yes.
What are you farming?
We farm everything. Everything like herbs, veggies, gourds, squat, whatever you can think of or the kids may think of is there.
And then where does it go?
Oh, we also farm 25 silky chickens as well. So we have livestock on our land. So we have fresh eggs and things like that. So where does it go? On Tuesdays, one of my great friends, Pastor Mike at Salem Church, we make sure that he has food from our farm to feed the 300 to 400 people he feeds on every Tuesday. So we offer that to Salem Church. And then on Thursdays at our farm, it's Senior Day.
Okay.
So we have items for $1. We cater to our seniors, and we just make it to where you have a relationship with your producers, where food comes from, and you're not driving way out, because that's where food was put, way out, rural areas. We have to drive. So since we don't want to drive, oh, that's too far. We're so spoiled here. We don't want to drive way out to rural farmers. So we serve as an inlet to rural farmers and our partners. So we partner with them and we bring in produce. We also worked with Shared Legacy Farms this year and did a huge initiative called Snap It Forward. Snap It Forward was an initiative to say, hey, Kurt, we have an issue here with food. Your contracts are all met, and most of the food that's on your grounds will go to compost. So we mobilized the kids that we teach, volunteers, and we ended up all together harvesting 9,000 pounds of organic produce.
Sonia, let me ask you a question. Well, where does this energy come from? I mean, this is a passion of yours, sure, but you could have an ornate garden and just build or grow your own tomatoes for your family.
You didn't have to do it for everybody.
Yeah, where's this drive come from? What gets you out of bed to do this?
Well, I know it made me better. It made me feel better. My health improved, my mental improved. So I felt that, you know, it's kind of selfish to show everybody my superpowers over and over and over again. It's best to teach how to do. And when we look at the inner city community that suffers a lot because lack of education or the lack of knowledge or skill, I've learned that the skill has been the key to bringing the community in. So we just don't show people what we know how to do. The goal is to teach. And when we teach the kids go home and they teach their parents. They go to school and they tell the schools that, hey, this is what we learned about food. And it kind of changed the dynamics of children and the community's relationship with food and holistic surroundings. So it gives them the initiative to say, hey, I want to do that. And then, you know, we have a huge amount of open lots in the community.
Yes, ma'am.
The goal is to take them over.
That with kids, not to age the three of us, right? But you know, kids, and not so boxy either. But you know, what's step one to getting kids on the farm? I mean, everyone is different. But what's the first thing you do to get them to learn about the soil? Because that's very, very far from your traditional upbringing now.
It is.
It's computers to phones.
It is, because I don't have a slide, a swing, any toys. It's really an organic draw.
Yes.
Kids are drawn to plants. They're drawn to anything beautiful. They're drawn to food. They want to taste things. It hasn't been hard.
I love that.
Not at all. It's been such an easy task, because one thing we all have to do is eat.
Yes, ma'am.
And one thing I've learned about kids is they know what's good, and they know how food makes them feel. So when they have good food and they feel good, they'll continue to come back.
What's your dream for this organization?
My dream is for this model to be nationwide, and we're on our way with doing that. I did just leave from Washington, D.C. with advocating on a federal level, and I also go to the State House and do it on a state level as well. So the model is a model for everyone to be able to follow for revitalization of open spaces that can serve as food hubs.
At the risk of asking, and I'm sure is an overly complicated question, I mean, so you say going to DC and Columbus to advocate for this. What's the barrier? Like, what's the barrier to you doing this that you're advocating for?
Well, the barrier with urban farming is land ownership. And it's hard to own land. You don't really inherit John Deere's in the city.
Yes, ma'am.
You don't have equipment unless you have friends that can come along and say, hey, We know that you're trying to do this for the community, so this is what we're going to do for you. But the barriers are having what we need to do the job. And when I started, I had to show people that you can start with a shovel and small tools. You don't have to have the mechanics, but it's good to have that so you don't work as hard. Please, please know this we don't want you to work hard. We just want you to work smart.
Go ahead.
I say we're talking with Sonia, Flunder-McNair, Urban Holistics.
I've got a question, and I know it's you never ask a question without knowing the answer, but I know you very well, but I don't know the answer to this question. What does a day off look like?
I don't have days off.
That doesn't surprise me.
And it's a lot of work, but it's fulfilling work. It's work that we may all be pushed to do this. And so the job for me is to teach. We're looking at higher gas prices right now.
Yes, ma'am.
And what does it take to get food to the stores?
Right.
Gas.
Right.
And so the price of food will be pushed on to consumers.
Absolutely.
And so we just want people to understand that they can grow.
What are we holding here?
Even in containers, you can grow. Pollination is an issue. When I was little, playing in the metro parks, we used to have butterflies and bees and everything flying around my head because we had the surrounding, we created the surrounding for pollination. But I found it hard in the city to have good pollination because there's nothing there for them. So when there's nothing there for them, they fly out and they leave. And so to create the environment, we should be worried when we don't see that type of live, the
what we
bees
grew up with.
and,
that's right.
you know, it should be around.
Yes, ma'am.
So the environment, it healed during COVID, just as well as, you know, your land, your people. We needed a space to go, and Tatum Park served as a place for children, and it's continuing to do that. So we're excited with what's going on. We're going to have a new program this year in collaboration with Lucas County Department of Developmental Disabilities. We're looking to create ADA accessibility in our space because we want this program to be accessible to all.
People want more information. Where can they find it? urbanholistics.org. Holistics have a W in front of it because the goal for that phrase was to make the community whole.
Love it.
All right, it's now time for Gretchen's Wacky Quiz. Buckle up,
Gretchen.
here we go.
Miss you, Gretchen.
We do miss
I'm asking you 4 rapid fire questions, and then you'll give us your favorite thing in or about Toledo, and then you and Matt will work together to describe Toledo in exactly 9 words. Do you play any instruments?
I played the clarinet.
Get out of town.
If you found a magic lamp and the genie inside granted you 3 wishes, what would they be? An X-nay on wishing for more wishes.
Wow. Okay, so I would wish for a greenhouse.
Okay.
I would also wish for clean energy solar panels. And I will also wish that food was accessible to all in every place.
I love it. Are you scared of spiders?
Yes.
And then final question, what is your silliest dance move?
I think I did it when we...
there it is.
There it is.
When we came on. So, just my...
Yeah. It's also your anti-spider dance.
I don't know how to describe that to the radio listeners, but it was a good dance. Yeah, it was good. It was good. All right, favorite thing in or about Toledo?
Favorite thing in or about Toledo is the... I was born a Metro Park kid. So it's not because Matt is here.
Yes, it is.
It's not. He knows it's not, but it is. It is too. But I am a Metro Park kid. My mom retired from the Metro Parks. I was there as a child all the time, and it's just something that's beautiful.
Love it.
Everything about the Metro Parks. So I'm a Metro Park kid.
We're going to give you just 5 now. Because that was such a great answer. So we've
Yes,
got five words that represent the city or region to you. When you think about it, what are the words that come to your mind? Community is one of them. I know that there's nobody that builds a community better than you.
So I would say 5 words.
Yes, ma'am.
That describes
the city or community to
the
you.
city or community. I would describe my first word as resilient.
Yeah, resilient, love it. Good start.
Second is
Passionate.
passion.
Yes, ma'am.
I would say my third word would be sustaining.
Love it. 2 more.
Fourth would be
Gritty. It's a gritty group.
yes, and I would say 5 would be collaboration.
Collaboration. Perfect.
Love it.
You're the best.
Sonia with Urban Holistics. You can check them out online. Urban Holistics
Yes.
with a W.
Yes, with the
dot
W.
org.
.org.
Thank you so much for being
Thank
here.
you.
When we come back, we'll wrap up this Wellness Wednesday edition of the 419.
Every day when you're walking
You
down
laughed
the
with
street.
us. You learned with us.
Hi, neighbor.
We made sure your
together
childhood
again.
was special. Memories that could only be provided by PBS. For generations, we've given you programs that made a difference. Programs that entertained, informed, and inspired. And today is no different. This is WGTE Public Media in Toledo. It's where you belong.
Introducing The Local Thread, a community news series uniting voices and storytellers from across the region. In partnership with La Prensa, the Toledo Free Press, the Sojourner's Truth, Toledo Public Schools, and Rethinking Jails and Justice. The Local Thread brings you stories and conversations that connect our community. Hear it weeknights at 7 on FM 91 with early access on podcast platforms each morning. The Local Thread, only on WGTE.
Welcome back into the 419 as we wrap up a Wellness Wednesday edition presented by WorkSpring, and I can't believe we did it without
I know.
Gretchen.
Yeah, it was not as good, but we did the best.
You know what? Sometimes you get what you get.
Yeah, that's right.
We tell our kids, you get what you get and you don't throw a fit.
Great show, great guests. Again, I met Allison for the first time, but they were all sort of interconnected, thanks to our good friends at WorkSpring, right? Michelle has a very earnest and approachable way to talk about the sort of the function of food, and that's not always an easy topic.
Well, and a key piece of nutrition and wellness is certainly access, right? And so you've got, the folks at Mobile Meals making sure that our seniors have access.
That's right.
And then, of course, the work that Sonia's doing, making sure the folks that live in the city have access to fresh produce. I was going to tell her when my kid's school has a garden, and the things that, my boys will not eat anything that grows in the ground.
Sure.
But because they grew it and they helped grow it,
Yeah.
they come back and they're like, oh, I ate this and this. And I'm like, what? That's a vegetable, child. Like,
That's an interesting thing, and it's certainly not to push back on that, but I also want to give credit where credit's due. There's something that makes that farm approachable, right? It isn't, the kids don't just come off the street and say, hey, I want to see what's going on and then stay.
Yeah.
Sonia and her team of volunteers, her energy is infectious, right? And they've been doing great work. I'm not surprised her answer to what her days off look like. I don't have them.
Thanks to Michelle, Allison, and Sonia for joining us on the program today, and thanks to you for being with us as well. If you missed any part of the show, 7 a.m. on YouTube, 3 p.m. on FM 91, and 6 p.m. on WGTE Connects Channel 30.4. Of course, 24/7 online at WGTE.org/the419, or you can download the new WGTE app and get the 419 everywhere you go. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you back here tomorrow on the 419, powered by WGTE and presented by Witro Wealth Management.
The 419, powered by WGTE, is made possible in part by supporters like you. Thank you.